What's up, everybody? This is Michael once again. Alright, so this video I got a quote from Frederick Nietzsche again. And this one I feel is pretty prevalent to today. It's about politics especially. So he once said, "A politician divides mankind into two classes, tools and enemies." I mean, if anyone's ever studied history, you know the two type of people you should never trust fully is a politician and a business person. Because they'll say whatever they want, or whatever they can and whatever they need to say to get you to vote for them or get you to buy their product. And that's why politicians and, business people usually, is the best field for a psychopath or sociopath statistically, to get into to be successful. And a lot of people I've noticed, there's a lot of political discourse and, go on Twitter and you see people are raging about, a politician said this and another politician came out and said that. And I mean, it shouldn't surprise anybody. It really shouldn't, because they'll say what they need to say to get you to like them, to get you to vote for them. And if you, as the individual, don't like them, that's okay, because if they're able to say something to get a group of people to like them, sorry, you got the short end of the stick, That's just what it is. And so you shouldn't ever be surprised that, when a politician comes out and says something that you don't like, because you're not the majority. You're not the one they're trying to, cater to. And, so that is why, I like George Washington's exit address, and he kind of warns the American people about the spirit of political parties. Essentially, like, don't get wrapped up into it. Don't get, so involved that, people identify people identify as Republican or Democrat. Well, my question is who identifies as American? I feel like I'm one of the few people, anytime I engage in any political debate, they're like, "Oh, what are you? Are you Democrat or Republican, liberal, conservative?" Like, I am American. What that means is, if you're liberal, Democrat, Republican, conservative, whatever your term may be, anytime I hear that, what I'm hearing is I already have an answer to a question I haven't been asked. You already have like a preset or preordained set of values and answers, on how to approach a situation, like, oh, we're going to close the borders and all that stuff. Okay, well, would that be good for business? Would that actually increase safety? Will that put us more in danger? Like, I don't believe that we should, like, a lot of people believe certain things and they try and enforce their beliefs. And I feel that the First Amendment, the first line is that Congress shall not enact a law that will enforce any one religion. A religion is a set of beliefs or a group of beliefs. And so when someone starts telling, "Oh, I believe this," well, I feel as if the First Amendment prevents any kind of belief being enforced. That's just my thought on the matter. And that's one thing we kind of have to pedal back, tread back on, just because, we are, a primal beast at times, and we do want to relate to, a group, and we want that sense of belonging and community, which is good. That's always a good thing to have, but you don't want to get lost in that and so identify as a political party and then become so hardcore into it that you become something you never intended. Like these liberals, these liberal, extremists, and I'm not sure what exactly to call them, because, for people who are supposedly liberal, they're pretty authoritarian. Like, I spoke to my friend, and he talks about how he is open-minded and he is, tolerant. And yet, this same friend who has literally cut another friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, completely out of his life because of his political views. So my question is just, how tolerant and open-minded are you then? Like, you don't respect his, and he's like, "Oh, well, the January 6th coup," and I was like, well, that was bad. I'll agree, that was bad. I didn't like it, made me feel very uncomfortable. I felt like that's definitely not the route we should go. But our buddy didn't support that. He it simply comes down to Republican and Democrat. Like, oh, my buddy votes Democrat, and he thinks he's liberal. Well, the friend he cut out is more Republican and a little more conservative. And so he's like, oh, well, you're no better than this person, and then just kind of just refuses to talk to him. So I'm kind of like, well, what kind of a good friend are you? What kind of friend are you if you're willing to cut out someone because they have a different political stance from you? And then what kind of American are you if you can't tolerate someone else's opinion? Because before, we used to have this whole, I may disagree with you, but I'll defend your right for it. Like, what happened to that spirit? That spirit of camaraderie, of tolerance, of patriotism, I guess you can say. Because America, the whole slogan, Make America Great Again, I never really understood or got, because I always thought what made America great was the fact that it's our opportunity and our ability to change and adapt for the people. And that's what I thought it was. Hey, I may be misinterpreting, misinformed, or anything like that. I don't like either. I don't like to identify as either party. I haven't really been a fan of the last couple of presidential candidates or the presidents themselves, just because I just feel like they're all playing the same game. But that's Frederick Nietzsche said it the best, and so I'll close on it. A politician divides mankind into two classes: tools and enemies. Right? Like, you're either a voter class for one of them, or you're the opposition. The ones that they need to be wary of, or And so, I don't know. Let's kind of stop this whole Republican versus Democrats versus whatever. Let's just all be Americans. Let's all just sit down and when I say Americans, I don't mean the people who were born here in the States, because let's look, the first 13 presidents of the United States were not American born. Right? So if you say people were born in this country, that means that that means that that the first 13 presidents were not born here in the States, so therefore they couldn't be American, right? But yet they did some of those important work for the country, and for the rest of the world, because it became very influential. So, anyway, take it easy, guys. Hope everything's going great for you guys.